This is by far the hardest Roblox horror game that I have ever played. And yet I still liked it. Hey, so do you guys remember this little Roblox horror game called Rust Machine? Yeah, you probably don't. Anyways, it was a semi-popular horror game. It was pretty obscure, but it got like 2 million visits or something. And since I just love to talk about obscure Roblox games for some reason, that's why we're talking about it. This is the hardest Roblox horror game I think I've ever played on Roblox. Ever. And I have no idea where I found the motivation to beat it originally when it came out 3 years ago. Rust Machine was a game created in 2020 and it gained popularity around the time that these low quality front page horror games were taking over Roblox. It was made by this guy named Pong, which is interesting because I noticed that I played all of his games without even knowing that they were made by the same guy. The Apartment is a 2-player horror game that somehow managed to get a lot of visits even though it is absolutely terrible. I actually made a video on it a while ago. It's literally just a walking simulator that forces itself to be unnecessarily long. Basically, you have to get to room 704 or something, which happens to be at the top of the apartment building. Also, the stairs are weirdly cut off so that you're forced to snake back and forth the entire time. Your walk speed's deliberately slowed down to be a snail's pace just to make it take even longer.
I don't understand the point of us taking this slow.
Oh, because the game would be finished in 5 minutes.
But I made a video on it, so if you want to see a 16-year-old Breadian play a terrible game, then yeah, it's there, I guess. School History is just another walking simulator, but it got popular, so I mean, it worked, I guess. I Love My Job is a pretty interesting one. I remember the beginning of the game being good, then the middle bit just kind of fell off. Can't remember anything else beyond that though. And then comes Rust Machine. A game that is just weirdly creative. Judging by the title of this video, you can already assume that this game is super difficult, but I think that I remember it more for its unique atmosphere and setting more than anything else. But then I went back and I played it and I was like, oh yeah, now I remember how my friends and I used to rage at this game. God, it is literally... Oh my god. You know what, I'm gonna go... So, in the beginning of Rust Machine, you start out in the cellar. Actually, it's more akin to a dungeon because you're locked in here and there's like torches on the wall and stuff. The rest of the game looks nothing like this, by the way. I think the game dev was just making up the game's premise as he went along. The whole beginning dungeon-like segment is actually really akin to Amnesia: A Dark Descent. I mean, it had background ambience too at one point, and I'm pretty sure that it was ripped straight from the game's OST. Also, it's not there anymore in the present day because of the new Roblox audio update, so there's that. There's like a hole in the wall with a hammer in it, and you use it to break out of your cell. Then immediately next door to the cell, you hear the sound of meat being eaten. Like, there's a monster in the adjacent room just chowing down. But they really want to keep the monster from being revealed yet, so in order to distract the monster, you make some noise or whatever by pushing some shit over. But when you push the items over, it conveniently falls in a way that it blocks the hole in the wall for you to see the monster from. Also, the room does not allow you to enter whatsoever until you make the monster leave. Like, the lock on the door just doesn't budge. It's about as funny and obnoxious as Resident Evil Village trying to hide Ethan's face by covering every single mirror in the Winters household. And in this case, I wouldn't have a problem with it because keeping the monster concealed is such a good way to build a mystery in a game. But later on, they just shove the monster in your face for a cheap scare, so it makes all of this look pointless and stupid in retrospect. Then there's some textbook key finding that games like this usually have, and this weird segment where they tried to copy Amnesia again. Like, they make you go down this really long path in a room with knee-deep water in order to retrieve an item. And on the way back, there's like a splash. Kind of like the scene of the water monster from Amnesia, The Dark Descent. Except there's no monster and this entire room is just a massive waste of time. In fact, the entire dungeon part of the game just feels like a waste of time and a literal disconnect from the entire game. Almost as if it was made by a separate person. And here comes this little thing I found out. Tub Hong has worked mostly by himself for all of his games, except this one, where this guy named Pixel is credited. Now, compared to the other games that he's made, this one's pretty good and original, and it stands out. So, like, was the other guy responsible for why this game's so good? I tracked that guy down and I was gonna ask some questions to him, but yeah, I kinda just felt like that'd be a little awkward, so I didn't. So after the dungeon bit is where the game actually starts to get good. You find yourself in a real house, or a mansion. Like, this place looks so different compared to the dungeon bit. It's insane, really. And this setting here is what I really like about this game. It's this old-timey mansion that's just littered with all these traps.
What's What's that?
No, don't! Don't!
Traps Illustrated? Freddy!
I read it for the articles.
And the goal of the game is to find a way to escape without dying to any of them. The game is basically just all revolved around solving puzzles, but apart from the dumb key finding simulator in the beginning, the puzzles in the game are actually kind of interesting to do. Crazy how a horror game in Roblox has the capability of making the puzzles consist of more than just finding keys. The main objective besides escaping is finding 3 power cells throughout the house to power the generator. However, the entire house is filled with traps and the power cells are guarded in their own unique ways. As for the traps in the house, they're basically the stand-in for the villain, which I'm fine with because the villain is laughably stupid. There's a titular bear traps that are rather easy to avoid on their own. Then there's doorway traps that will really fuck up your day. You can either go around them or you can just trip the wire and back up. There's also this weird barbed wire stuff that's more annoying than anything. First power cell is guarded behind the barbed wire that's incredibly hard to get through without getting hit. Like you have to tap your keyboard. Also, all of the traps in question do a fuck ton of damage. Like, you are going to be doing a lot of trial and error in this game. This hurts the game a lot because there's a ton of unneeded padding in the beginning, which makes retrying the game just so painful. Like seriously, there's a part where you walk through the inside of a wall and there's like dust falling above you. Is that supposed to be scary? Also, just like the apartment game, you walk really fucking slow, so that's the real kicker here. The second power cell is guarded in a room full of bear traps, like comically full. I think that this room is pretty cool because the bear traps themselves in the game aren't really that bad. Like, this isn't Siege or Dead by Daylight where you're vaulting windows or running around corners. You're walking at a snail's pace and the bear traps are gold or brass or something, so they're kind of hard to miss. But in this room, there's a fuck ton of them. And for some reason, the first time I tried to take it super slow, I ended up dying horribly. But then the second time, I decided to just walk fast and it worked. The third power cell is the absolute worst thing in this game. It is the part where countless people have just given up on the game entirely and the dev just hasn't bothered to change it. I mean, that's kind of what happens when you don't have a Discord server for feedback, am I right? But yeah, it's objectively painful. It's not fun, it's not enjoyable, it's not scary, and it's just poorly designed. Dying in horror games is the easiest way to take somebody out of their immersion, especially if it happens over and over. And in this case, it's like pouring salt on the wound because when you die, you have to start all the way back at the start. I don't even want to describe it. It already made my blood boil so much doing it. I'd rather just play Zombie and Reason to Die than do this again, honestly. So after that little debacle, you make your way through the second floor of this old-ass house. Then there's that power cell there, albeit surrounded by bear traps again. And this room is actually easier than the first one, so that's nice. Honestly, I wish that you could throw stuff into the bear traps to disarm them. Like, it would give a nice choice, whether you could decide to inch your way around them or simply disarm them. Or just a few of them. Because the beginning of the game seemed to give that impression almost. There's like a bear trap in the middle of the floor that gets tripped by a mouse. Was the original intention of this interaction to show that you can disarm bear traps? Or did this cutscene simply serve the purpose of telling us what a bear trap does? I'm hoping not, because most of us kind of know what a bear trap does. Like, even little kids, the target demographic, know that. And if you're trying to appeal to kids anyways, why is this game so needlessly difficult? After inserting the third and final power cell into the generator, this pod thing comes down that drops the boss room key and a skeleton into it. Also, don't go inside of the pod thing because then it kills you and pulls you back up into the ceiling. I know this because my friend did it, and no, I don't have footage, it was 2 years ago. The boss battle sucks. It's about time that I talked about this terrible villain design. It's bad. He shows up before you go into like the infuriating puzzle room and it looks goofy. He is by no means intimidating or anything. I really thought that this game was going to set up the monster as somebody who's smart, but not physically strong. He set up the entire house full of traps just to see you suffer trying to escape. But then he's just presented as this little runt who screams at you and then runs away. And during the boss fight, he just slowly walks towards you. So like, game, make up your damn mind. Is the monster a sadistic genius who creates machinery, or is he just a mindless beast? And yeah, the boss battle just involves doing mathematical problems while the monster chases you at a snail's pace. It's really stupid and dumb and lazy. And the creature's hitbox is so shitty, I swear to God. Hey Siri, what's 249 minus 217 minus 18 minus 6?
249 minus 200.
What the fuck? Dude, I am so fucked. I would have really liked it if the final battle included you killing the monster using its own traps. That would be nice. And it would make sense. How do you trap an entire house without the risk of those same traps hurting you? Imagine going through the entire game, constantly getting hit by traps, when then finally it's time for his turn. That would be satisfying. This total cuck of an antagonist.
Little baby man, little baby man, little baby man.
He just eats some meat, runs from you, then goes upstairs, runs from you again, and then locks himself into a tiny little room. Why? This monster is not imposing at all. Just kick him. His bones will shatter before he hits the floor. You know, by the way, if you're going to make us do math during the boss fight, you could at least put some bear traps around the room. You know, maybe we can lure him into the traps and incapacitate him. Or after we grab the key, we have to make a quick escape out the door with him on our tail. And we trick him into running into one of like those overhead swinging traps. It's just so dumb, I swear. Such a dissatisfying ending for all the hard work you just made us do. This game does have one Game Pass, by the way. I already beat the game without it, so I figured I'd just buy it to support the dev, and also make the gameplay easier so I could get the video out faster. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Anyways, things I really liked about this game. The atmosphere. Great, amazing. Minus the dungeon part, of course. That part should not be in the game at all. It just slows the pacing down and it's designed horribly. The traps are cool. I wish that there were more unique traps in the game, but it's fine with what we got. The setting is amazing. I really like the abandoned, old-timey looking house. It really brings me back to the nerve gas house from Saw 2. Unlike the start of the game where they tried to copy Amnesia: The Dark Descent, the barbed wire and boarded up windows are really nice, combined with the cool lighting shining into an otherwise darkened house. I wish that they could have explained some things better. I don't know. Like, maybe the creature originally lived in a dungeon and then they built a house on top of his dungeon so he overtook them, and also now he just has like a weird infatuation with cannibalism. I really like the absurdity of this game. I wish that they did more with it, or maybe they'll release this game with new content and tweaks, because it seriously has a lot of potential. This is one of those games that you can just tell that there was some seriously creative talent somewhere in the project that just got bogged down by the shitty bits. After Tub Pong made this game, he went on to make another game called Laplay, which I remember being hyped for just because I liked this particular game so much. But then my friend and I played it, and I remember it not being very good at all. In fact, my friend was literally like, dude, this shit's so bad I can't play this. And the dislike ratio seems to back this opinion sharply. Anyways, the game's in the description if you want to check it out. It's a 4-player game, or a 2-player game, or a 1-player game, or a 3-player game, whatever works. Definitely be prepared to die a lot and rage if you play it though. Fair warning. Anyways, thanks for watching my video on Rust Machine, the hardest Roblox game. My name's Breadian and I play and review Roblox games. If you liked it, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Why do they even call this game Rust Machine? Because there's like rust and also machinery, and also the name just sounds cool and artsy. So after the dungeon bit is where the game actually starts to get good. Ooh. Oh. So after the power cell is guarded behind the barbed wire that's incredibly hard. What? Oh, my Grubhub. The first power cell is because there's a ton of unneeded padding in the beginning, which makes retrying the game just so painful. Ooh, my Grubhub's here.